Hi, this is Debbie from Organic Oasis in California Zone 9B. I'm going to do an experiment today. I'm going to use the very last lemons from our lemon tree here in Organic Oasis, and I'm going to try to make a lemon jam in my Panasonic bread maker. So stick with me and let's see if it works and how it turns out. So this lemon jam recipe basically just calls for 2 cups of lemon puree, just the fruit part, not the skin or pith, and 2 cups of sugar. So it says use a sharp knife to remove the skin and the pith from the lemons, remove seeds from the lemon and puree. So I started using my peelers, trying to peel off the lemon and the pith, but it's going to be really time consuming to do that. So I just took my paring knife, and what I did was, I'm finding it just easier to just slowly cut down the fruit like this. And you can get off most of the pith. Now, some of the pectin is in the pith. So recently when I made an orange jam recipe, I actually left in some of the pith to help thicken the jam at the end. So, I'm not really too worried about leaving some of the pith. I don't really want the peel though, because that could make it bitter. But leaving some of the white part, which is the pith, it will help to thicken this jam. And then I'm just going to put it in my Vitamix like this, because we want the fruit and the recipe calls for the puree. So I'm looking to end up with 2 cups of lemon puree. I have my lemons here in my Vitamix, and I just peeled them as best I could. There's still some pith on, but I think that will actually help thicken the jam. So I'm going to go ahead and puree these, and I need 2 cups. So here it is. This is what it looks like after I put the lemons into my Vitamix and I blended it up. So it's now in a pureed form. And I'm going to measure it out and see how many cups I have here. So here is my machine. And excuse me, at the beginning I said I had a Panasonic, but it's actually a Hamilton Beach. So my bad. I don't use it very often, as you can tell. So I had actually forgotten what brand I had. But anyway, this is a Hamilton Beach. It has the number 9 is a jam cycle, and the cycle runs for 1 hour and 20 minutes. In the instructions and everything I've watched on YouTube, it says that if it doesn't thicken enough in the first cycle, just run a second cycle. So again, this is an experiment. So I have my puree ready to go, and I have exactly 2 cups. So I think I'll run the cycle with just the 2 cups in case, it doesn't work out. I won't waste all my lemons. So let's see what happens. This is the little paddle that goes inside here, but I'm going to go ahead and wash this really good, and then we'll put the lemon in and the sugar, and we'll start making jam. Okay, so here's what it looks like inside my Hamilton Beach bread maker. And I went ahead and cleaned it really good, because sometimes bread will get stuck on that, inside what they call the paddle. So I cleaned this really good. So now here's my 2 cups of the lemon pureed. So I'm going to pour this inside. So you can see it's pureed. It's very chunky. And I had a little bit left in here inside the Vitamix. I'm just going to pour this in as well. It's not a lot, so I want to use all that up. It calls for 2 cups of sugar. So I have my 2 cup measure here, and I filled it up with sugar. So I'm going to pour the sugar in here. Now, this recipe that I'm using, it actually says to cook on medium heat in a saucepan until the mixture reaches 222 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you take it out and the jam should be ready. But I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to put this in my bread maker so that we can see if the bread maker can do the job. Okay, so even though the recipe is not made for the bread maker, the recipe was made to cook it on the stove until the temperature reaches 222 degrees. I'm experimenting by putting it in my bread maker on the jam cycle. So on this Hamilton Beach, the cycle is number 9. So I press this cycle button, and it cycles through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's the jam cycle, 1 hour and 20 minutes. This goes in here and it locks in place. Let me see if I can get this in here and lock. It just kind of fits in here. There we go. It's locked in place, and now I'm going to start it. Okay, so it looks like it's heating up right now, so I'm just going to close the lid and let it start to do what it's supposed to do. This Hamilton Beach bread maker has been going for 25 minutes, and I'm going to show you what happened. The first 10 minutes, it just heated up, and then once the machine was really hot, it started stirring it. So as you can see, it just got really hot, and it's stirring it, and it's starting to kind of bubble. I'm going to take the temperature, and let's see what the temperature is of this inside the machine. So I'm going to use my Javelin Pro. So this is saying it's 159 right now, 160. About 160, 163. Okay, so the instructions say that this jam needs to get to 222 in order to thicken enough to actually turn into jam, what we think of jam. So let's keep watching this machine. It's got another 53 minutes to go, and I'll check back and we'll do another temperature, another measurement of the temperature, and see if it gets hotter and if the jam starts to thicken. This bread maker has been going 40 minutes now, and I'm going to go ahead and put my thermometer in and to see the temperature. I don't want to get splattered with hot water. So this now is up to 198, 199. And the instructions basically says that this will turn to jam if it gets up to 222 degrees. So let's keep our fingers crossed. We got 40 more minutes to go. So the timer just went off, and this has been cooking for 1 hour and 20 minutes. And the jam it's about 188. It was 188 degrees when I first checked it. And I'm going to go ahead and look at the consistency of this. So if you look closely at the consistency, it is starting to gel up. So I think what I'm going to do before I try to redo this one more time, because the instructions online when I was looking at some other people that made jam in their bread maker, they just said to redo the cycle one more time if it's not gelled to your consistency. But I'm going to go ahead and chill a spoon. Or what I can do is actually put a little bit of this jam into the refrigerator, and we'll wait about 20 minutes and see if it passes what they call, I think it's called the sheet test. Put this spoon into the freezer. You can see it's really frozen. There's ice actually stuck on it. So let's check this out. So I'm going to basically what I do is I take some of this jam like this. And then now that it's cold, I go like this, and we see how fast it runs off the spoon. So I don't know, can you see this? It's not running off the spoon at all. So if you watch my videos, you know that I just like things super easy. This is already cooling off. I don't think I need, oh yeah, no, it's a little still too hot. I'm gonna have to wear my gloves, but I'm just gonna go ahead and just pour these into these jars. And like I said, I want you to be able to see, but it's starting to gel up quickly. It's thickening. And I am just not going to can this because I'm not keeping this very long. It's going to be eaten up quickly. Tim and I will eat it. I have a couple friends who would love some of this. And this is it. This is these are the last lemons from our lemon tree. So now we have to wait a whole year to get more lemons. But I'm going to really enjoy this. It'll make 3 half pints. I will post this recipe online. And if you don't have a bread maker, it's okay because you can use a saucepan over medium heat. But boy, this was cooking, and when it was cooking, I'm making sourdough bread today, so I have been busy doing other things. I did not have to sit and deal with this. Okay, let me get the caps on here. So the lemon jam has been sitting for a while. It's cooled off. I've had it on my counter, and I want you to check it out because it has completely gelled. And it is like a perfect consistency for jam. So I want you to see this. It's just wonderful. It smells delicious. So it's not at all runny. And as you can see, it gelled up really nicely. You have to try this. It's delicious. Ice cream, maybe on ice cream, toast, pancakes, waffles, just delicious.